Hey guys, Chaman
Levi.
from Harper Therapy, and we've spent the last few weeks talking about trauma. And to kind of start us off, we talked about how, a couple weeks ago, we talked about how trauma affects us from early age and can literally play a role in physical ailments we have later in life.
Yes.
And then last week, we talked about how grief is trauma, and grief is a very complex thing to work through. And today, we're talking about signs that you're not dealing with your trauma.
Exactly.
Right? And you wrote down 7 of them in your blog entry for this week. And I'm just going to throw one out there and you can say a thing or two about it. So the first one was compulsive behaviors.
Okay.
So
Right. So compulsive behaviors would be things like overeating or undereating or the typical things like OCD type behaviors.
like hand washing, rituals. I think they call them rituals, right? In that,
Or even what people would call addictive personality type behaviors.
Okay.
You know, gambling,
Gotcha.
Substance abuse, things of that nature.
Okay. So then the next sign that you might not be dealing with your trauma is withdrawal from your relationships.
Yes, yeah. That would be isolating, instead of being present in your relationship.
Right.
Going to your room, isolating, not being present, you know.
Going behind the wall,
Right.
kind of,
Yeah, just isolating yourself, withdrawing.
Right. The next one was overfunctioning.
Right.
I think a lot of us get that one because we think like, especially like perfectionists, I think overfunction a lot.
Yeah.
But
The overachiever.
right, the overachiever,
Type A personality.
got to solve all the problems, got to
Yeah.
fix it all, type A. You know, it definitely can be a sign that you're not dealing with some of your past trauma, right?
Right,
When you
right.
go into that, I have to solve the problem constant
Yeah, and
mode.
perfectionism.
Right.
Yeah.
Irritability.
Yeah, irritability. This is a big one.
Yeah.
That can that's on a spectrum, the irritability. It can be me just getting, irritated with something you said and storming off and not being able to talk, which would also consist of withdrawal.
Okay.
Or it could look like me exploding,
Right.
having angry
like
outbursts.
full on.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting how you kind of even said it can kind of tie into the withdrawal as well. Yeah. Persistent sleep issues was another one.
Right. Inability to fall asleep, stay asleep, or sleeping too much.
Right. I think you wake up in the middle of the night and the mind's like going a million miles a second and you can't shut it down. You can't get back to sleep. Yeah.
Right.
Physical symptoms emerge.
Yeah. The psycho-somatic symptoms.
Right.
Stomach issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those feelings that we get when we're suffering from anxiety.
Right.
Chest
Pressure,
pains. Yes.
pain.
Chest
right.
pain, stomach
Right.
issues.
Okay.
All of those types of things.
All right. So that was physical symptoms. And then I think the last one we had here was mental health symptoms.
Right, yeah. Mental health symptoms emerge if you haven't been suffering with them already. And if you have, they tend to worsen.
Right. So it can like worsen things like anxiety, worsen things like depression. You've already hit on like doing ritualistic stuff. And these kind of things, they tend to compound, right? Like any of these individual symptoms we could have in our life. But I think when we're seeing a lot of these things showing up, maybe that is telling us, hey,
Yes.
we've got some unresolved stuff
Right.
that we probably need to work through.
Absolutely.
And we happen to be really good at that here at Harper Therapy. It's what we do. Trauma is the centerpiece of the work we do. Even when we do couples work, it tends to be from the lens of, okay, where's the root trauma? Where did you learn to do all this?
Right. Yeah.
So you can give us a call at 813-434-3639. We'll see you guys later.